Hello, good morning. We are very excited to be here today for the ESG and Sustainability Showcase hosted by HSE People. My name is Aoife Clark. I am Marketing Manager for the UK and Ireland markets, and I'll introduce you shortly to my colleague Mutu. We're here today to discuss sustainability goals, so a platform for every sustainability goal. We are AMCS Group, as I mentioned. You may know us as Quintech perhaps previously. Quintech was acquired by AMCS Group and we're now operating under the AMCS brand. So we're thrilled to be here with you today. Mutu is going to take us through an exciting presentation, and I'm going to pass over to you now, Mutu.
Thank you, Aoife. Hi, everybody. Good day. Okay, so thanks for joining here. Yeah, this is Muthu. Like Aoife already introduced me. Yes, I'm here to provide you this nice presentation. Hope this will be helpful for you, at least an understanding and what we are doing as Quintech and AMCS as well. So. Yeah.
Great. We're going to turn off our cameras just for bandwidth so you have full visibility of the screen, and we'll be back to you at the end of the presentation.
Super. Okay. Okay. Thanks, again for joining. So let's move to the slides. I will start with the agenda. So let me go here. Okay, so agenda of today is a bit more comprehensive. As you see, we will look at the sustainability goals in brief, which could be potential sustainability goals in any organizations. And also we will discuss a bit of sustainability strategy as a transformation process. We will get a bit deeper into the key topics of relevance in achieving the sustainability goals. The topics like I listed here could look like the identifying and prioritizing material issues. So as you know, the material issues identification is a big challenge nowadays in any organization, regardless of which sustainability goal that you want to achieve. And we will go through that, how the process works in terms of materiality assessment. We will also touch base on managing direct and indirect emissions, how the emission management is normally done in terms of process, and how effective we can really measure it, and so on. And we will also look at the S of the ESG, which is more on the social side of it. And also we will touch base on the EHS topics and ESG reporting in terms of mapping the environmental or health and safety indicators to what is necessary for today in terms of ESG reporting. And we will have a brief overview of our AMCS platform for you, which might be also interesting to see, if that's something you would like to see in detail later on. Okay, so this is what we wanted to provide you as today's session. Let's hit the rubber on the road. So first, let's go with the sustainability goals. So potential sustainability goals of any organization can range from reducing carbon footprint, which is more, the implementing measures to lower the greenhouse gas emissions by gaining your energy efficiency, focusing on renewable energy sources, and also improving your transportation by being more sustainable. And looking at waste management, you might have a goal to minimize your waste production or enhancing recycling. Water conservation is a big topic in certain industry. If you're in food and beverage industry or even chemicals, water conservation will be a big topic where your goal could be to reduce your water usage and improving water management practices. And moreover, you see more and more of these type of goals like employee well-being, which could focus not just on the health and safety in terms of physical safety, but also psychological safety or behavior-based safety, and so on. It could be community engagement, or even bringing more sustainability into products and services and so on, and governance and transparency. So these are the common sustainability goals which could be interesting in your organization that you're already working on. And normally, to achieve these goals, you're in a process, right? So that could be a nice transformation process in terms of achieving the sustainability strategy, which could look like this. This is our methodology from Quentech and AMCS Group, where we really look at assessing the current state from outside in and inside out perspective, and really understanding the status quo of what's happening in terms of your sustainability goals. Do you have some sustainability goals? And how do you how do you really deal with all the actions towards those goals? You derive objectives and measures, not just considering a new set of goals, but also deriving objectives based on what you already have as process and procedures in terms of achieving the sustainability. You do gap analysis or distance to target analysis, and implement necessary measures. So you always have a concrete roadmap, which is highly important to ensure that there is a clear timeline, and also ensure that you're also able to comply with regulations and so on. So implementing necessary measures with a concrete roadmap. And also you have regular reviews, which is more related to monitoring and improving the state of whatever you put as actions in achieving those goals, right? So this is kind of high level overview of what we as AMCS Group have as a methodology for our clients in achieving their goals through this transformation process. It's something related, probably if you're in a HSE kind of background, the PDCA cycle, which is more to plan, plan, develop, act, and control. This is very familiar to you, and this is something similar to what this methodology is all about. Talking about methodology and the transformation, we want to also show you a bit of key topics of relevance in accomplishing the sustainability goals, which could be more interesting to, like I said, we took like 4 topics, which could be very important, and it touches, any, regardless of any sustainability goals that you want to implement in your company. You will touch all of these 3 or all of these 4 topics, let's say. So let's go to the first topic that I want to show you. Is more about identifying and prioritizing material issues. So the material issues are, very difficult to identify and agree with all the stakeholders in the process, ensuring right priority is given to the specific issues. So you start working on it. So when I say identifying and prioritizing material issues, I'm talking more about double materiality. In terms of double materiality, we are not only talking about, the outside in, which is more the financial stability impact on your company, which is focused more on the financial side, but also about the inside out, which is more how you impact as a company on the sustainability issues to the external environment. And then, you really look at how you can identify and prioritize these issues that you will find. So for that, we have a process in place. Before going inside the process, I will show you just an example of what we are all used to is a traditional materiality, where we always think about the financial perspective only. Here I just gave an example like a dissatisfied and unproductive workforce, which is more how an unproductive employee affect the company's revenue. But the other side of the puzzle is so important to also consider, which is the inside out perspective as part of the double materiality, where you will also look at companies' governance affects employees' satisfaction and productivity. Through the analysis, you find out this aspect, and then you're able to act and really, keep the things much better in shape in terms of achieving your sustainability goal. The process itself, as you guys most of you know that there is a materiality matrix involved, and you always start looking. By the way, before going inside the materiality matrix, the materiality assessment itself is a key topic and a foundation, for any sustainability agenda in your organization. So looking at the materiality matrix process of identifying, the material issues and so on, you really need to come up with a comprehensive topic list. So you really identify the topics, right? So first you start with looking at what are the sustainability issues relevant to your company and your stakeholders. So the stakeholders are so important. Again, as I said, like the materiality metrics is the foundation for the whole sustainability exercise. Remember that involving stakeholders from the beginning of the process is highly important, and it's highly recommended as well. So all the stakeholders should be involved. So you start with identifying the relevant topics and agreeing with the stakeholders. You assess the financial impact. So you evaluate how these issues could affect the company's financial performance. And then you also analyze how the company's activities impact external stakeholders and the environment. You prioritize the issues in terms of understanding and giving more significance to both financial and impact perspectives. And then you really report the findings. So through the process, you involve, like I said, all the stakeholders. The stakeholders can be anyone in the organization, could be from employees, your suppliers. Supplier as a stakeholder is so key that the supplier provides you the product, in terms of the ingredients for your product in the process of manufacturing. So supplier, considering them as a stakeholder is so key. It could be customers, investors, regulators, local communities, or non-government organizations. So it's a kind of, involving all the stakeholders, coming up with a comprehensive list and trying to prioritize what is important, and then trying to build this matrix that you see on the screen. So the matrix itself, you will see a lot of prioritized issues. The topics or the issues, sustainability issues, differ based on your company and your industry that you're operating. So for example, you see in the matrix, like for example, the medium, you will see like the noise protection, which is more interesting topic, let's say if you're a construction industry. And if you're a chemical industry, you might be really touching the topic more on, let's say, waste management, or even occupational health and safety in terms of dealing with hazardous risk or hazardous communication and so on. So it's important to understand that you prioritize the list as per what is important for your company and your stakeholders. And at the same time, this matrix cannot be replicated, or it's not same for all the companies. So it differs on the priorities and what you want to achieve as sustainability goal within your organization. Okay, so that's the kind of double materiality that you can go through as exercise, which we want to address as topic 1. The second topic I want to jump is more, I go to the second topic right away. It's managing direct and indirect emissions. So you guys all know the scope 1, 2, and 3 as emission types, as emission scopes, sorry. So emission scopes, you have scope 1, which is more a direct emission within your organization. Scope 2 is more the indirect emission, which is more purchased electricity or heating or anything related to, things that you buy from an external, but still it's really applicable within your organization. And then the indirect scope 3 is the large one, which is really a huge exercise that you take care in terms of getting information from all your suppliers. Could be all these 15 categories that we have in scope 3 that you will look into for managing the indirect emissions. It could be like, like you see on the screen, it's all the purchased goods and services. It could be emissions through your business travels. It could be your emissions, processing of sold products or use of sold products. It could be even be the investments that you have made, and that is also an important element that you need to manage these indirect emissions. So it's a total, as you see on the screen, the emission type should be not just carbon management, it's more also on the methane and nitrous oxide or hydrofluorocarbons and so on. All the greenhouse gas emissions need to be managed. And the total emissions is also an important element that need to be reported. So for example, if you're, you should be doing right away, right now, the CSRD as per the regulations. As per CSRD, you will use the standards ESRS and E16 as the number that I found, which is more related to the total emissions. So you don't only do, about your company or about your supplier, but you also report about your total emissions, which is more important to report in terms of the whole operations from upstream activities, reporting inside your company or even downstream activities and so on. So this is just in a nutshell, what managing direct and indirect emissions mean. But at the same time, we can also look at the risks and opportunities related to scope 3. Scope 3 is basically through the value chain. So you really look at the value chain, let's say from whatever is happening in your company in terms of starting from inbound of raw materials, your production process, your distribution, and you take care of the employees and everything. So through the value chain, also the suppliers are impacted, which need to be understood and managed, how suppliers are impacting your business, not just financial perspective, but also environmental perspective. So starting from looking at the risks or mismanagement of emission. For example, if you have suppliers in the value, you will have suppliers indeed in the value chain. The regulations through the value chain are all very important. Like, there is not just one CSRD or EU regulation, but there are many local regulations, national environmental laws within the country, within the region that your suppliers are involved. So we need to ensure, you need to ensure that your suppliers are following these regulations as well, and ensure that the suppliers are also making, taking care of their energy management in terms of having a good renewable energy or very efficient energy resources for their operations, because that will directly impact your cost as well, because you're buying goods from the supplier, and if the supplier is really having a huge cost on the energy or anything that he is doing with respect to the moving things or processing things which impact the energy costs, and that cost you will also pay, and that will also show on your product's competitive advantage which you're selling, because your supplier or not, one or two suppliers are not really worried about energy management, then impacting on your cost. When you sell your product, you will feel you will look your financial perspective will not look very attractive anymore. And also there could be legal issues from the supplier or reputation. It's all, could damage reputation, not just for your supplier, but also yourself. So these risks have to be managed properly when you're doing scope 3 emissions management through the value chain. The opportunities of doing effective emission management is mainly you're really focusing very well on the efficiencies of reducing your greenhouse gas emissions. You're really building the room for product innovation, because you're really looking for change and the transformation that we discussed. And also you're improving your customer loyalty, and you're really creating your own differentiator in your industry. So in a nutshell, Scope 3 emissions management is so important when you're dealing as a topic for achieving your sustainability goal. Regardless of any goal that you will touch base with your value chain in terms of dealing with suppliers and their emissions that you need to report, and also not just report but also manage it efficiently. So that is the second topic I want to talk about. Now I will go to the third topic, which probably you guys are more familiar. So it's more managing social aspects in ESG. So it's mainly dealing with the health and safety aspects. How do you deal with them today? It's all about people. When we talk about sustainability goals, one of the key, let's say, key topic or key element is the people. Taking care of people is so important in the process. So when I say managing social aspects in ESG, it's also relating to workplace accidents and incidents. You ensure that you are able to keep track of them and keep track of also, reducing the rate of workplace accidents and so on. And also taking care of the occupational health issues. It could be, physical disorders or even behavior-based safety, or even your, psychological safety and so on. You build that in as part of your process to deal with these issues. And there is, of course, this health and safety management where you're really thinking about information on the systems and processes in place for managing health and safety risks, including compliance with local and international regulations. Training and awareness is a huge topic in health and safety within any organization. You ensure that all the employees are trained very well to deal with hazardous issues and also manage how they are able to, feel comfortable within the organization to work at the workplace and also take care of them as a whole. Also, the employee well-being and the engagement and communication aspects all need to be managed properly. So managing the employees in terms of social aspects in ESG is a key topic. You need to have proper systems in place. And remember, one element that I want to mention here is that there are many indicators that come out of the EHS domain for ESG reporting from social health and safety perspective. So it's very important that this is a key topic in achieving your sustainability goal. This is the third topic I want to talk about. I know most of you guys are familiar with these topics and you're already dealing with them. How effective you're dealing with them is making you more, thinking how you can do it with new technologies and new systems in place with AI and machine learning and so on. So that is one thing. And now we can touch the fourth topic, which is also again a bit about EHS, but not fully. But here, what I want to mention is more related to the current affairs, which is more related to ESG reporting. Of course, you have sustainability goals that you want to achieve in your company. At the same time, you want to be also compliant. So being compliant means you're reporting ESG on a regular basis to the authorities that you need to in a mandatory regulation phase that we are all going through at this moment. So you see the last column that I put here. What I tried to achieve here is to really give you a kind of awareness of what kind of EHS topics or there that you deal on a day-to-day situation. What could be the equivalent ESG reporting aspects, and also the reporting elements which could be directly related to certain regulation that you need to follow, that are mandatory regulation, not any more voluntary basis. So that is important to consider. and also align them with the frameworks that are readily available, standard guidance on reporting structure. And of course, you see the last column, which I want to actually start in this context. So relevant regulation standards and timelines. Of course, the EU CSRD, that is a very hot topic at this moment, that most of the companies, regardless of your size, if you're if you're listed in the stock market, or if you're already, in the mid-size company and a large company, you're already impacted in terms of reporting to the authorities with related to the CSRD. CS3D, which is DDD, Due Diligence Directive. Many of you are aware as well. This is important regulation that is also upcoming from 2025, which is more related to, of course, the human rights aspect and directly related to EHS topic, more important. And of course, the ISSB is the standard that you all know that it's going through a great deal of coming up with new standards that you already see with them. Many countries outside EU or even US or any North American country, there are many other countries who are going to follow this ISSB, like Brazil, all the South American countries, or even countries in Asia. They are following the ISSB standards to report. Again, it's also going to be adopted as mandatory from some countries. US SEC is still there as a regulation, still pending to become mandatory, expected in 2025. And US California, which is already a mandatory regulation that many of the North American companies are already trying to look into. So there are multiple regulations. Beyond this, there are even more regulations involved. But these are the hot topic at this moment as we speak. Many of the companies are already started working on it. And like I said, the EHS topics, I'll give you a few examples, like the emission management, which is more what we talk as achieving the sustainability goal. There we really focus on scope 1, 2, and 3, and mainly focusing on managing reductions. It's a direct element that you need to report according to CSRD, not only CSRD, but also like the ISSB or US California. You will also see, like, for example, waste and hazardous materials in terms of if you're in the chemical industry, if you're a chemical company, or even other hazardous material waste industry that you're really producing this waste from your processes and so on. You clearly need to report them also as part of the CSRD. And these are the waste from and to disposals. These are very important to consider. The detail level are all listed in the ESRS, as the standard that is already available. And the energy management, as usual, looking at how decarbonization could also be your sustainability goal. And the renewables, looking at new renewables, how you can really change them to become more efficient with respect to the energy management in your company, and so on. So the frameworks, there are multiple frameworks available, of course. For CSRD, it's mandatory to use the ESRS standard. And beyond that, you also have GRI, TCFD, and SASB, and so on. Remember, it's always interesting if you are already using GRI and SASB, there is always the interoperability exercise that you will do with ESRS to come up with your set of indicators that you report. Those mapping or the interoperability exercise, if you have a system in place, that could be very handy and important to have them, so you don't make mistakes on them as well. The next slide I have, again, I clearly wanted to show you a bit more on these indicators that you will work to report. like the workplace safety and well-being, and the managing the material risks, and also workplace safety and so on. So you will also look at the training aspects, all these elements that you will be really trying to work in your company. Altogether, it will all help you to achieve your sustainability goal as a whole. Okay, so this is just for your reference. You can have a look later in the details. So what I want to do before I talk about the sustainability platform from ourselves, I just want to summarize what I spoke so far. So first, we really looked at potential sustainability goals that you could achieve in your company. It could be anything ranging from energy management or even your pollution control, or anything that you want to do with respect to your company and your objectives for sustainability goal achievement. And then there is a process that you go through in terms of transformation. How do you assess what's existing, and how you can really derive and take measures, implement those measures, and also you monitor them frequently, so you're able to ensure that you're on track for achieving those sustainability goals. And then I really brought into those 4 topics that we looked at: the materiality issues, looking at the materiality matrix. You really summarized your priorities elements. What are the priorities in your company, and based on your sector, what is important to really look into to achieve your respective sustainability goal. And we also looked at the emission management. It's important to manage those emissions, not just scope 1 and 2, but more importantly scope 3, which will be very challenging to manage. How do you manage it? And also we looked at the EHS aspect in terms of social, and also looking at the how you will report to become compliant for CSRD or any other regulations that are in the country and the region that you are operating. So altogether, you need a certain sustainability platform where you are able to really do an end-to-end exercise, how you will get the data, process them, and then report. So how do you do it? This is where we as AMCS play a bigger part. I just want to give you a very high-level overview of our platform. In a nutshell, you see in the screen, the platform is more about managing and reporting on every sustainability goal. So regardless of your, what goal you have with respect to sustainability, we are able to manage, for example, climate action, water stewardship, and also we provide ESG insights. So it can be, part of your journey. You need to have a solid solution, a software solution which can help you not just data processing or not just reporting aspect, or even not just looking at the compliance aspect, but really to a whole end-to-end solution that can really accomplish your needs in terms of achieving your sustainability goal within your organization. So what you see on the screen is more about our solution can automate materiality assessment, which is specifically designed to manage your sustainability program, to really looking at the the amount of stakeholders that you communicate and do the survey and do the interviews and so on. You will collect that much information. You really need an automated process, not just for collecting, but also ensuring you have the right information and also store them carefully so you're able to act on it. Collecting data from across operations, not just one set of data from one source, but you could have multiple sources. Could be from the environmental data from environmental resource, social data could be from your HR systems or ERP or any other systems that you need. You might need also governance data, more on the risk management and risk mitigation aspects, and how do you combine them all to really make sense of it, analyze them, the data. And there are more elements that you could find in the platform that we have is more related to the AI or artificial intelligence and machine learning aspects, where we are able to analyze the data very well. And in case of there are gaps in terms of, for example, there is a gap in terms of getting the right emission factors or doing a scenario analysis, for your climate action, you're able to do that with our platform very well and track every input and edit. And we are also able to map, like I said, the interoperability, between ESRS and GRI or SASB. We are able to do that very well within our platform, mapping them and ensuring you have the right set of indicators that you are able to report carefully and what is necessary for you to report as per the mandatory regulation as well. So as a whole, this is the platform that we want to just show you, just giving a feeling. But of course, the more and more we will have a discussion. If you're interested, we will be able to show you, lively our solution, which can take you to more deep information and knowledge on how things can be done. Not just beyond, it's beyond compliance, it's beyond, beyond acting, for some mandatory requirement, but also beyond that, you're able to have a process in place end to end to really achieve your sustainability goals that you need to for your organizational strategy and so on. So this is what I wanted to talk all about today. As we ran through, I think we are about time. So I will now go to the next slide, which is more about closing, and I will bring in my colleague Adhere to really talk a bit on the closing and go ahead.
Thank you, Mishu. I think that was quite insightful. You covered lots of content there, and I hope that the audience have some key takeaways from the presentation today. We are just at time, as you mentioned, Mishu, so we're going to have to finish for today, but please, if you have any questions at all, or if you'd like to engage further in any conversation, don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can get us on amcsgroup.com/contact, and we'd be happy to continue this conversation another day. But we'd like to say thank you so much to the team and HSE people for having us today, and we hope to see you in future for some more insightful content. Thank you very much.
Thank you.